My name is Zach Hampson, and today I'm going to show you what this little bit of equipment is and what it does. So this right here is actually called a proportional divider, and it's super helpful if you want to translate one object onto your canvas or something in space onto your canvas, blow it up in size. Usually what it is used for is make things that are small really much bigger so you can put that on your canvas. Let me show you what I mean. Proportional divider actually splits out into two things here. And what that means is that there's this little end here and a bigger end here, and a notch that slides up and down, making this end bigger or smaller, making this end bigger and smaller. And what that can do is, if we've got a picture, like I do here, of my beautiful girlfriend, who we took a reference photo of earlier this afternoon, and I want to do a painting of that onto here. There's a couple of ways you can do that. You can just do it freehand, like you can just step back, see it, okay, that's where everything is, that's what I can do, easy peasy. Or you can grid it up, and you can grid this up, measure how big this is, and then times that by however big your canvas is, and just grid up your canvas and then draw it in where things line up on the grid. You can do that, or you can get a proportional divider, which is what I decided to do for tonight, since it's a bit late, I'm feeling a bit tired, and I don't feel like going through drawing up this thing. I just want to get to painting. Sometimes you just feel like getting to painting, and you just want to get your painting down. You want to get into that rhythm. You want to see how things look, things move, what you can do with the painting, and you don't really want to worry about the drawing aspect of it right now. This is a very good option. By the way, before I get into this, you always, something to note with the proportional divider, which makes it a bit different to all the other methods, is that you're going to always want your reference to be a fixed length. You're always going to want to measure that reference at a fixed length. Say if somebody was sitting at a certain point and I was trying to measure them up, I'd have to stand exactly in one spot every time that I measure them and hold out my arm exactly the same length every time I measured them and just get it like that. So I'd always have to make sure I stand in one spot, hold out my arm as long as I did before, and measure them like that. So your reference has to be always the same size when you're doing that. That's why having a photo here is super helpful, because I can measure straight off of the photo. You know, I don't need to stand at a certain distance, I don't need to hold my arm out at a certain length or anything like that. I can just hold this up, boom, it's done. I can take that measurement and go. So let me show you what I mean by taking measurements with this thing. Okay, so first off, what we're going to want to work out from the get-go is how far along we want this little notch to sit at. And what that's going to determine is how big we're going to blow up this image here. And so you can see I've made a couple marks already before I decided to film this video. The way you work that out, simply just go over to the head, or usually whatever's the main focus of your painting or drawing or whatever, measure that up. So I'll go to the head. What you want to see is how these two notches here will sit, one at the chin and one at the very top of the head. And what that does, so this will be the exact same proportion as the head, but blown up a bit more. So you can see there's that head. I've proportioned that out here. Make sure those notches are where I want them to be. Yep. And then I take this top bit and this bit here, and I mark where the top of the head is and the bottom of the head. That way you can get a sense of scale from the get-go, and you can leave a little notch, let it tuck into that notch there and set it there, and that's how big it's going to be for the rest of this whole painting, or the rest of the whole drawing up stage at least. Okay. Once you've got the scale down, what you're going to want to do next is find out where your sitter or your object is going to sit on your canvas here. So to do that, you go from the outside, see how far away she is from the corner of the canvas, measure that up, got the length here, make sure you don't knock it, and then we'll take it over here, and we'll take it over to the edge of the canvas here, make a little mark where her head goes, in proportion to how far away from the canvas she is, and then rinse and repeat all the way around. From the top of the canvas, we'll get a little mark there, get a little mark up there. We'll see how far away the top of her head is from the top of our canvas. Then we mark that up here, and then just keep on going around her, seeing where things line up all around. So we've got a nice, easy proportion sitter. And then once you've gone all the way around the picture, now you can start working inwards just a little bit. So the next thing we want to look at is maybe how big is the hair proportionately. So it's about there. These are notches here, like that. And then we go make a mark. And then do the same on the sides there, do the same on the sides there. But yeah, rinse and repeat. And then we can come in with the forehead, see how the forehead sits like that, and then see where the eyes sit like that, see how the eyes are big like that. You get the idea. So that's the general gist of how the proportional divider works in practice. Just lining things up helps to have a photo, and then putting it down and drawing it up with that. I'm gonna finish up the measuring up everything, draw that up, and then you're going to watch me paint this up and see how that goes.